Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Rama. You look at it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna You can help it a little bit more cool. That's it. That's it. Come on. Good. Very good. Hare Krishna. Good morning, children.
Good morning.
Oh, you know my name? I know all of your names. Actually, I don't know my own name. So, welcome. Thank you very much for coming to the temple, to the Mandir. Who's come here for the first time? Who's come here before? This is the probably easier question. Have you come here before? Oh, okay, with your family?
Yeah.
Oh, very good. So, welcome to everybody, especially who've come for the first time. It's a great pleasure for us to have you here. Thank you so much. So, I wanted to explain when you came into the temple. Oh, firstly, how we greet each other, how Hindus greet each other. So we greet each other in many different ways. One of our ways is saying Namaste. Can you do that to me? Namaste. Another way, my favorite way of greeting is Hare Krishna. So I'll greet you, you greet me back. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So when you came in, you took your shoes off. Why do you think you did that? Yes. Yeah, good. So when we come to the temple on Monday, take our shoes off, because on the streets we can be walking on so many things, so many horrible things. And we don't want to bring those horrible things into the temple. In fact, even at home, we don't wear our shoes inside the home. We leave them on a patio or somewhere outside. Because we don't want our home to be dirty as well. So, now, when you came in, did anybody notice a bell there? Yeah. So often, when devotees come in, they'll ring the bell, like that. And that is to let the lordships know that they've come, the devotees have come to pay their respects to the Lord, also to let devotees know. So we come to greet you. And when the devotees come in, they will pay their respects to the images that you see on the altar. And I'm going to introduce you to these images. Now, when I came to your school, what did we do? Yes. Yeah.
We acted out the Diwali song.
That's very good. We acted out the Diwali. And what is Diwali? The festival of?
Lights.
So, do you recognize? Oh no, before we say that, how many gods are there in Hinduism? Do you remember that? I was telling you that. Yes. How many gods? How many gods? Yes. One God. That one God has lots of different names. You will know him as Christ or Allah. Hindus know that same God by a different name. We know him as Krishna or Vishnu or Rama. And that one God can have many different forms. He can expand himself. He can become many. We call them incarnations or avatars. And that's one of the reasons why you see many forms of God, the altar. But there's still only one God. That's very good. Do you recognize anybody on the altar? Yes. Where? You're right, Ram and Sita, but they're not there. Yes.
I think I see Krishna.
Oh, do you? Where? Yes. This is actually Krishna. And he's distinguished how? What's different about it? Yes.
His skin color is blue and he has a blue.
Very good. Well done. Very good. Who's next to Krishna? That's a tough question. It's a really tough question. Hard question. Hard question, yes. Close. It's actually Radha. Can you say that?
Radha.
Radha and Lakshmi are almost one and the same. Just like Krishna and Rama are the same, one God, different form. So, who else do you recognize here? Oh yes, very good. There, right? Very good. Everybody know a little bit about Ganesh? Okay, so you've learned about Ganesh. Well done. Elephant's head. And he's actually the Lord of auspiciousness, goodness. He removes obstacles on the path. So many students worship Ganesh so that they can pass their exams. Now, the position of Ganesh is quite unique. Do you know who his father is and his mother? Yes? Wow, you've told them well. Yes. And the mother? Tough question. Tough question. Mother of Lord Shiva? Oh no. Mother of Ganesh? Yes.
I think something, something.
You're not far away, Parvati. Parvati. Now, where's Shiva on this altar? Where's Shiva?
I think Shiva is my mom.
You are right. This is Lord Shiva. And he is really unique personality. He's got such amazing features. And next to him is his eternal consort, his wife, Parvati. Who else do you recognize? Yes.
Rama and Sita are them.
Well done. That's correct. So, what distinguishes Ram? What's he got? You can tell this is Ram. Yes. Oh, yes. The monkey is next to him. Yes. What's his name? Wow. Yes. Yeah. Hanuman. My goodness, you really taught them well. Well done. Yes. So Hanuman. And what does Ram have in his hands? Yes. Yes. Bow and arrow, right? So Sita's next to Ram. Hanuman is at the feet. There's also Hanuman here. Hanuman is one of our favorites because he's such a amazing character, great devotee of Ram, but also very fun-loving. Who's next to Ram? This is a tough question. Okay. Yes.
Lakshmi.
Close. Close. Yes.
Sita.
No. Yes. Sita's on this side. But who's on this side? Yes. Whoops. He's the brother, younger brother of Ram. Yeah. No, that's Krishna. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what's going on. Yes.
Lakshmi.
Wow. Let's give him a round of applause. Well done. How did you remember that? Lakshman. Well done. So Lakshman is the younger brother. And do you remember three of them went to the forest, right? Yeah. Did you play any of the roles? What did you play? Were you around? Were you Hanuman? I remember you. Very good. Did you play a role? Sita. Must have been Sita. Ah, okay. Or maybe you were Lakshman then. You were the prince. Yeah, maybe. And finally, we have here very unique personalities. Ram came to our world millions of years ago. God comes to our world often because although we've forgotten him, he hasn't forgotten us. So he comes to our world to remind us of himself. So he came millions of years ago. Krishna came 5,000 years ago. Shiva has always been in this world. But These two personalities, they only came 500 years ago. And his name is Chaitanya. Can you say that? And this is Nityananda. They came in this age, which is a really hard age. This is called the age of Kali. It's known also as the Iron Age. And in this age, to make progress in spiritual life is very hard. To remember God is very hard. There's so many distractions that we have. So they came 500 years ago to show us a very easy way to connect with God. And I will talk about that a bit later. So, any questions? Yes.
How did they show them?
How did they come to this world? Is that what you asking? They would just appear. Sometimes they would have a mother and father. Sometimes they wouldn't. Like there's incarnation of half man, half lion. And I'm going to come and talk to you about him, I think, in this term. And we're going to talk about the festival of colors. Now, he appeared out of a pillar. There was a pillar, and there's a very nice story of why he came out of that pillar. But God doesn't take birth like us, because God is always existing, and he always continues to exist. So when he comes, for example, like Krishna, he first came in the form of the four-handed Vishnu. Have you seen the four-handed Vishnu form anywhere? That's the four-handed form of Vishnu. So he originally came as that, and he turned into a baby. So he appears in many times. Yes. Oh yes. Who is that? That is she's known as Ganga or the Ganges. Have you heard of the river Ganges? So she is a personification of that river. Very holy, powerful river. Yes.
Doesn't he sit on a flower?
He can on a lotus flower. In fact, she's sitting on a lotus flower. Sometimes. Yes. Because that's because they really like to bless. They're always blessing, and they're blessing with red hands. And we also got red hands, you know. They can be quite red sometimes. Yes. Oh yes. Yeah, I've got a bit of a marking on my forehead. Can you see it? So when we wake up and have a shower, then after the shower we make a paste of clay. This clay has come from India. It's very special clay. And then we put that, actually not just on our forehead, but 12 different parts of our body. And that is to indicate that we worship God, but also we're asking the Lord to protect our body so that we can serve Him. So every time we put this marking on, we say a mantra. So for this one, we say Om Keshwaya Namaha, Om Narayana Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha, Om Govindaya Namaha. In that way, all the 12 different parts of the body we cover with different mantras. To be protecting the body. We're asking the Lord to protect different mantras, different names of God are involved for that. Yes. This is to show that they're blessing. Blessing, giving us good wishes. Their good wishes. That's correct. She's showing that. She's showing that. Sita's also showing the same. Yes. Right. That's another mantra, yes. That's actually a secret. Right, keep it a secret. original language in which, for example, this book was spoken. This is the Bhagavad Gita. This is one of our most important holy books, like the Bible or the Quran, very important holy book. And this was written in Sanskrit. And Hindi and Sanskrit are quite close to each other. But in India, there's so many different languages. I speak Gujarati, for example, which is a little bit different from me. But a lot of Hindus speak Hindi, yes. Then depends. If they're from the south of India, they may speak Tamil or there's so many different languages. Okay. Yes. Oh, these drawers, we basically store different things in here, which we use to worship God. So let me show you that actually. Let me show you what we do. This will be an example one. When the devotees come, there would sometimes be ceremonies held. Every day there's a ceremony held for God. We do that in the Mandir, we do that at home as well. And the ceremony involves a puja tray. Have you seen a puja tray? Yeah. You've got a bit of a puja tray here. In the puja tray, we have different things. This is in incense. And we light this incense. And we offer this incense to God once ringing a bell in a circular motion like this. This will be offered to all the different gods, different forms of God, sorry. And the reason we would do this is we are by doing this ceremony, we are thanking God. Thank you for the air we breathe. Thank you for the water we drink, the food we eat. We're showing our gratitude to God. So after the incense, we would offer a lamp to the Lord. So in here, we have some cotton wool, a bit of clarified butter or oil, and again, we would light it. And we would offer, this is one of the main offerings during the ceremony, which is the lamp. We would offer it in a circular motion to the Lord. And we would be meditating that, my dear Lord, thank you so much for allowing us to participate in doing service to you, doing some service to you. Now, he provides the food we eat. We cook that food with fire, right? Generally speaking. We wouldn't be able to eat raw food sometimes because our stomachs may not be so strong. So the fire helps us cook. And there's another fire within our body. Did you know that? Where do you think that fire might be? Yeah?
With your heart.
No. Yeah. Not quite. Yeah. Whoa, you got it. Yes, it's in the stomach. It's called the fire of digestion. Have you heard that? So when we eat something, ultimately it ends up in the stomach. And there is a fire that burns that food into energy. If it wasn't for that fire, it's not quite like this fire, but there's a special type of fire in our stomach which converts the food into energy. So we thank the Lord. Thank you, my dear Lord, for allowing us to digest the food that we eat so that we have energy to serve you. And then we offer water in a shell like this. This shell is considered very pure, so we would offer water to the Lord. And then we would offer handkerchief, flower, a fan or two, so many different things. This is to show our gratitude to God. And whilst the priest is offering these different items, the congregation will be singing. They'll be singing, they'll be playing drums, they'll be playing cymbals. And they will be singing many different types of songs. My favorite one is what I always sing. Do you remember we were singing this at your school? All right, let's do it two at that time. You don't have to sing if you don't want to. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Rama
Hare Hare.
Rama, Hare Hare.
Very good. Oh, let's sing one more time. We can all clap. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, any questions? Yes, you have asked it. Okay, so actually this is like a bull, it's a bull. And this bull, his name is Nandi, and he's the carrier of Shiva, and he's really smart. There is a cow here behind Krishna. He loves cows. And one of the reasons why he loves cows is because cows are very, very kind and generous. They give milk. And milk, when we are born, initially maybe our mother is giving us some milk. Then when she stops giving us milk, in our holy books, it is recommended to drink cow's milk. Cow's milk nourishes the body, improves our intelligence. So this is one of the reasons why the cow is regarded very important in Hindu culture. All life is important. And that's why we keep a vegetarian lifestyle. We don't eat meat, fish, or eggs. But the cow is considered very important because she's just like a mother. Mother gives milk, she gives milk. Okay. Yes. Ah, this tiger is her carrier. So she travels around, ardently travels around with a tiger. She's strong. She's very, very strong. Yes. Sorry? Ah, you mean when we have this lamp? That's right. How did you know that? Okay. Yes, so this lamp is then later passed around the congregation and they would take it. It's like a accepting the blessings of light. So we get knowledge. And knowledge destroys ignorance. Knowledge is very important. Yes.
On this one, why is there look was a little drum of it?
There's this Trishul and there's a drummer. He loves to play the drum. He's the expert of drum playing. Yes.
When you said that we got control the world, did they move from the world
Did they walk on this planet? Yeah, very good question. So, there is a world beyond this world, right, which is called the spiritual world. And that's where we belong. And that's where God lives. But because we wanted to be away from Him, He has created this material world where we live. And He comes often. But when He comes, he actually brings a lot of the spiritual world with him here. So he doesn't necessarily walk on earth. He brings his world with him. It's a little complicated. He doesn't touch this world because this world is material, is spiritual, so be spiritual. When he wants to touch this world, he becomes Shiva. This is what Shiva is. Shiva is a very unique personality. He's God in touch with this world. But when the other personalities, they actually don't touch this world. They bring the spiritual world with them. They come to our world, but they don't touch the world. But when they want to touch the world, they become Shiva. It's a little bit complicated. But it's very interesting. Does that answer your question? Was there another part to that question? What was the other part? Okay, thank you. Good question. Very good question. Yes.
Doesn't the dog have the right side of the
Buddha, very good. How did you know that? Okay. Wow, maybe she should be singing. Excellent, yes. This is actually Durga herself. Just Parvati and Durga are one and the same person. So yes, Durga also has the tiger character. Sometimes she has a lion character, so it's a little confusing. Yes. Why is it a bird? Ah, you know who that is? That bird was celebrated. Peacock, correct. He's also got a peacock feather on his head, on his crown. Can you see? On his turban, in fact. So Krishna loves peacock feathers. He loves a peacock because the peacock is so colorful, beautiful, dances so nicely. Have you ever seen a peacock dance? There's a school here, Whitgift. They've got about 10 or 12 peacocks which roam around. Friendly ones as well, but interesting. Yes, right back.
Right. What is the old like God or day?
Who is the oldest? Very interesting question. Who is the oldest? Yes, the origin is regarded to be Krishna. There are many scriptural references which indicate that he is the oldest. And from him, all the other incarnations have come. Nice question. Yes. So, which is the oldest God in every religion. See, most religions, or all religions, we believe in that one God. We all believe in that same one God, right? Whether we know him as Christ or Allah, Jehovah, Krishna, it's the same one God. Our scriptures, the Hindu scriptures, the Vedic scriptures, give a lot of information about God, where he lives, how he lives, what he does, and also the chronology is there in the scriptures, how old he is, who's the original. So according to several scriptures, Krishna is regarded to be oldest. Yes. Who's the smallest? Oh, the little guy here. He's so cute. He's actually a small version of Hanuman. It's really quite amazing. You know who this belongs to? You come here more than I do. Quite amazing. Well, we have that the deity can be small, and I'll show you another one. Very small. This is probably the smallest. This is a little baby Krishna. Rose. Very, very beautiful. So when he was a little child, he was actually very naughty. Can you imagine God being naughty? So he was very naughty, and he would do all sorts of, he would play all sorts of pranks on everybody to show us how sweet he is. He loved having fun, and he wanted everybody else to have fun as well. Yes. Right. What are those symbols? These are really very unique symbols. They're called yantras, and they're two-dimensional images of the mantra that we sing. These are the two-dimensional images of the mantras. And they are very powerful when you want to meditate. And there are certain very strict procedures that are used to invoke the universal powers within those yantras. So they're regarded to be extremely powerful. And they're very different as well. We have the Shiv yantra, Krishna yantra, Ram yantra, and the Shri yantra. The Shri yantra, God last one is very famous. All of these yantras are very. Yes. How many stories are in the book? Oh, countless. So many stories. In fact, we were just discussing yesterday how in the Vedic literatures, in the Hindu scriptures, there's so many books, and every book has so many chapters. And there are countless stories, countless pastimes that take place. Yes. Okay, that brings us on to a very interesting topic. How old is God? Okay. To answer that, I'll go a little bit round about this subject. Firstly, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to ask you, who are you? Who do you think you are? Human, yeah. What else? Mammal. Animal. What? Child. Huh? God. Say God. Okay. What if I told you that Hindus believe that we are not this body? That's right, we're not this body. And I'm going to show you what I mean by asking you 3 questions. Are you ready?
Yes.
First question. How big were your bodies when you were born? Show me. Second question. Do you have the same body today? Okay. Who has the same baby body that you were born with? Nobody. You're grown, right? You've got a different body now. But are you the same person?
Yes.
Good answer. So you can't be the body because you told me yourself you don't have the same baby body that you were born with. You have a different body now. So you can't be the body. But you also told me you're the same person. So what Hindus believe, and what is the very first instruction in this book, is that we are not this body, but we are the spirit soul living in this body. The soul. And the soul is spiritual by nature. Same as God. Spiritual. But the soul, without the soul, the body can't. Just like if you have a car, without the driver, will that car move? No. You need the driver. Yeah, you need a driver in order to make the car move. Without the driver, without the soul, the body can't do anything. That's the difference between a dead body, dead person, and a live person. It's the soul. Because the dead person has the body, has the head, has the arms, legs, everything is there. The only one thing is missing is the soul. So, how long do you think the soul lives? How long? How long? Yes. Alright. We will never die. So coming to your question, God will also never die. We've always been in existence. God has always been in existence. Eternal, infinite, ageless. Advaitam Achyutam Anadi Ananta Rupam Adyam Purana Purusham Naviyam. He is the oldest, but yet he always looks Naviyam young. Well, similar age, because this is in this world, for us it's hard to understand because there's a beginning, middle, and end. But God has no beginning, He has no end, and we are similar. We also are ageless, very old. In this body, but you're not the body. Before this body, you were in another body. What happens to the soul when this body gets old and diseased? What happens to the soul? What happens to the soul? What happens to the soul when this body gets old and diseased? What happens to the soul? It's the same, yeah. But what happens to the soul? Yes.
It leaves the body, and some people believe that goes to heaven.
Yes, can go to heaven if one is really good. But generally, what happens to the soul? It goes into another body. It gets another body. Then it gets another baby body. What is that called? There's a name for it. Yes. What's it called? Yes. Yes, reincarnation. So Hindus believe in reincarnation. What type of body will we get in our next? What do you think determines that? Yes. What determines our next life? What do you think? But what will determine it to be in heaven? What do you have to do to make it to go to heaven? Yes. Maybe we'll see. So, if we're good, we get good back. If we're naughty, we get punished. What's that called? There's an Indian name for it. Starts with K. Yes. Karma. So Hindus believe in karma. So we are now, by our actions and our behavior, building our next body. If we continue to be good like you all are, we'll continue on our journey in the next life of self-discovery, understanding who we are. And Hindus, what we want to do is get out of this cycle of birth and death. Birth, death, birth, death, birth. Forever we've been in this cycle, getting new baby bodies after this body finishes. So we want no more nappies. Every time you're born, You have to learn how to wear nappies. No more nappies. And how do we do that? We try to improve our consciousness so that it becomes close to God consciousness. Okay. I told you a lot there. Yes. Well, 500 years ago, Chaitanya and Nityananda came. But they're not young. But they came 500 years ago. They're eternal. Yes.
If you're putting your first life, then you get to be a good, you get to like then in the next life you have like another good life, but if you don't have the first life, then you don't get
The thing is, according to Hindus, there's 8.4 million species of life. Aquatics, plants, animals, humans. We've been through all of those many times. Now we've reached the human platform. We're very lucky, very, very fortunate. Because in the human platform, we can distinguish between right and wrong. We can improve ourselves, constantly improving ourselves, getting better and better. So this is the purpose of human life, to improve, become godly, become close to God, so we can go back to where we belong, the spiritual world. Yes. So, you as a plant. At some point, we probably have been to the plant life, to the aquatic life, animal life. Now we've got the human life. Yes. Ah, what happens at the end of this universe, for example? Is that what you mean? What happens? No, but I tell you what happens. There's another form of God called Mahavishnu. He's huge. When he breathes out, all the universes come out of the pores of his body. When he breathes in, everything goes back again. So at the end of this universe, the life of this universe, when he breathes in, we go back into the body of Vishnu. And then when he breathes out, we come out again in the universe. And his one breath is the life of the universe. And it lasts for, are you ready?
Yeah.
311 trillion, 40 billion years. That's one breath of Vishnu. And that's the life of the universe. That's according to Hindu scriptures. Long breath. So breathe in, breathe out. When you breathe out for 311 trillion, 40 billion years. Okay. Now you guys have done really well. It's sat for a long time. How long yeah, okay, that's good. That's good. Just thinking that you might get a little too tired sitting down all the time. Why don't we stand? And your coats. Are you happy to leave them there or? Yeah, okay. Let's leave them there. At least let's have a little break. So, I tell you what we can do, we'll sing. Sometimes what we do is while we're singing, we also do a little bit of yoga. Standing yoga. All you do is move your feet this way, back again. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Rama
Hare Hare. Okay, now you're gonna jump up and down. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Excellent, brother. Sit down again. Brilliant, brilliant. Okay. Any more questions? Yes. Wow, good question. How come we can't remember our previous lines? It's a blessing. Can you imagine? If you remembered your last life and the person sitting next to you stepped on your right foot 10 lives ago, and when you see him, you think, I'm gonna get you back. You know, even in this life, when somebody was rude to us a few days ago, a week ago, a month ago, or a year ago, we remember the person. Like whenever we see that person, we okay, I'm gonna have a go at you one day. Can you imagine remembering our past lives, where perhaps so many people may have done crazy things to us, we would have done crazy things to others. So it's better not to remember. God doesn't allow us to. He wipes all the memories clean. However, there are many instances where people remember their past, especially young children. And there was a Dr. Ian Stevenson, he was in America, he was a professor. He did a lot of research on these situations. There was one boy in India, he was only 2 years old. He was born in a village, in a family, and he kept telling his family, I don't belong here. I belong in another village. I have a shop, I have a wife, I have kids. He's a 3-year-old boy. They got fed up with him. They took him to that village. Show us your shop. He did. It's my shop. They went in. That's my wife. The wife was married to somebody else. He told her, get off. She's mine. 3-year-old boy. Eventually, he also told them where he had hidden money. He had hidden money when he was shop owner. He had hidden a lot of money. The 3-year-old boy said, I know where I've hidden the money. He took him to the money. So people can remember. There's so many instances that people have remembered. There was one man who was on the Titanic. Do you know the Titanic?
Yeah.
With some many years ago. He was one of the engineers of the Titanic. And he was born in the UK. And he remembered his life as the engineer of the Titanic. And they blamed the engineer for the Titanic to sink. Right? And he spent most of his life defending the work that he had done as an engineer in his country. Right? So he was defending the work that he had done as an engineer for his country. It's confusing. So he wrote books. I can't remember his name now. I can't remember his name. He wrote books on it to tell everybody, it wasn't the fault of the engineers that the Titanic sank. So it's a very good thing that we don't remember our past lives. Yes.
When you die, can you like choose what animal or
Now remember, human life is very rare. We're very fortunate. So it's not a good idea necessarily to want to aspire to be an animal. Because you've already got the highest, you've already got the £50 note. In the £50 note, the £1 coin is already there. The £5 note is already there. The £10 note is already there. You've already got the highest form of life. But having said that, if one behaves like an animal, say somebody likes to sleep, right? Just sleep. They come to the school, they sleep. They go home, they eat something, they go to sleep, they can't wake up in the morning. Just want to sleep, can't sleep. That's what they do, that's their consciousness. Maybe Mother Nature in the next life will give them a body which is suitable for their behavior. The body of a bear. They can sleep for 6 months a year, no problem. So our behavior, if it's like that of an animal, then possibly in the next life, we will become an animal, because that's our behavior, that's how we behave. Mother Nature will give us a body suitable for our behavior. But in the human form of life, what we aspire to is get better and better. Get as much knowledge as we can to improve ourselves. And you are very lucky, you go to a really wonderful school. You have the opportunity to learn so because the teachers want to teach you so much. So make use of that opportunity, learn as much as you can, get better and better, better and better.
so if I drink a lot, would I become like a cat?
Drinking is good. It's not necessarily just the action, it's the consciousness. Yeah, it's how you're behaving. What do you want? What are your desires? If you want to always be in the sea swimming, for example, right? That's all you want to do, swim. Well, maybe Mother Nature might give you that ability, but not in a human body. You get that, maybe a fish body. But you don't want a fish body, you've got a human body. Fish body is very limited. Very good question. I like that this discussion. Very good. Does it make sense? Thank you so much. We can talk more if you want. Yes. थोड़ा आता है. Do you know? आप मालूम है? I know. See, because we've been in this country for like 52 years. And I'm only 21, okay? Anybody asks. You know, most of our speaking is in English. Sometimes you forget. But I know Gujarati very well. Yes. Do you? Okay. Urdu, it's very similar. Right? Actually, you should learn Urdu. It's very, very sweet language. Good, learn it. Hindi is also very nice, but Urdu is very good. Yes.
So
Right. No, necessarily. Not necessarily.
The reason why I wouldn't like is because if I'm being chased up and he's crying up the street, it's just like
Be careful what you desire or wish for. Okay, let's hear this young lady here. Yes.
Say if I ate any bugs or say Christmas, will I say it's for free?
If you ate a bug, would you become a bug? Is that what you mean?
No, to become a frog.
Oh, right. Okay. You see, we can take extremes, right? For example, if you like to eat and you eat anything and everything, right? Whether it's tasty or not tasty, or whether it's fresh or not fresh, you just eat. That mentality is like that of a pig, isn't it? So if that's the mentality one has all the time, then the next life might be that you become a pig because that's your mentality. Right? And say another extreme example: somebody likes bugs. They eat bugs. That's all they eat. They don't eat vegetables. They don't eat fruit. They eat bugs. Who knows? Yes.
Why do some
Good question. Why do they have skin color which is so different? So if you look at this room, everybody's got a slightly different skin color. God's skin color is completely different. His is described to be that like a dark monsoon rain cloud. Very beautiful, blackish, bluish color. That's just his natural skin color. Very, very beautiful. His is golden. His is a greenish, goldenish color. That's what is described in the scriptures. It's just a very, very unique, beautiful color. Just the way it is. Yes. Sorry. I'm not even going to answer that question. Why would you want to become a cat? You're a human being. Okay. Be careful what you wish for. Huh? Yes. You're living on what? A bull. Have you not been listening to me? You have already attained the highest platform of life, human life, and you're very intelligent. So you can use your intelligence to get better and better and better. Not go down in the lower species of life. Okay, let's do something else. Let's sit in the lotus position. You know what the lotus position is? Yeah, just cross your legs. Cross your legs. I'm going to do a little bit of meditation. So you can hold your index finger and your thumb together. And you can rest your arms on your thighs, on your knees. And we're going to do some little bit of breathing first. Breathing from your mouth. No, nose. And breathe out from your mouth. Breathe in. Breathe out. This time, close your eyes. Breathe in. Breathe out. And really breathe in deeply. Breathe in. Breathe out. See, mostly we hardly use our lungs. 10% capacity, 15%. Our lungs are very important. We should try to use them regularly. So when you're breathing in like this, you're starting to use more capacity of your lungs, 50, 60, 70, 80%. It's a really good thing. And did you notice when you breathe in, breathe out, does it have a calming effect on you? That's your word. Sometimes when you've got a bit of stress on you, maybe a bit too much homework or exam coming up, just sitting like this, breathing, can calm you down. So, now this time, if you see here, there's a symbol. You see that lit area there? In the middle is a symbol. It's a symbol Om. That tree and the brown bit, the top bit, that's Om. Om is another name for God. And Om we often use as a sound to meditate. So let's give you a demonstration how. Breathe in. That was good, very nicely. One breath. And do it now, one more time, with eyes closed. Just focus on the sound. Now breathe properly. So we're gonna do it 5 times. 5 times, okay? In one go, so 5 times without breaking. But I want you to do something while we are doing the meditation. Focus on the sound. If your mind goes somewhere else, like goes to school, goes to lunch, what's mom doing at home, what's the television tonight, bring the mind back to the sound. Can you do that? Yeah? Everybody understood? Okay. Anybody not clear what to do? Okay? So, we're going to do Om 5 times. Without break. Close your eyes and just focus your mind on the sound. If your mind goes somewhere else, bring the mind back to the sound. So, everybody clear? Alright, let's try. Breathe in, eyes closed. Number 2, breathe in. Number 3, breathe in, eyes closed. Eyes closed, breathe in, focus. Fifth, breathe in. Good. Nicely done. How did you feel doing it? Yes. How are you in the clouds? Yes. I understand it. Good question. Yes, how did you feel? Yes. Speak up. They're almost as old as each other. So, felt good, right? Now, who was able to focus the mind on the sound throughout all the 5 times that you chanted on? Some of you. Whose mind went somewhere else? Where did it go? Where did it go? Yes, where did your mind go? Where did your mind go? Where did your mind go? Huh? To it? Home. Oh, okay. Did you bring the mind back again to the sound? Done. Where did your mind go? Okay. Okay. And you?
Went to home, so when I get home, I'll switch.
So then, did you bring the mind back to the sound? Good. So I tell you why we did this exercise. Okay? Quite important. If you are able to focus your mind on the sound, that means your mind is your friend. But if your mind kept wandering, you didn't bring it back, perhaps your mind is not your friend. So, why is that important? Say you have an exam tomorrow, and the teachers tell you you have to study tonight. But you go home, the television is on, your brother, sister is watching it, and you stay and watch the television. And you tell your mind, don't worry, I don't need to study, I know the subject very well. I don't need to study. So that means perhaps your mind is not your friend, because you're supposed to study, but you decide you don't want to study because of the television. So your mind might be your enemy. But if you are able to tell your mind, no, today I'll study, tomorrow I can watch the television. That means your mind is your friend. And this is very important, because if your mind is your friend, then you can achieve anything you want in your life. But if your mind is not controlled, if your mind is your enemy, then maybe a little struggle. Once you're young, it's very good to learn how to control the mind. To tell the mind, no, I'm not going to do what you want. I'm going to do what I need to do first. Then you'll achieve amazing things in your life. Yes. Yes, because you can see the mind going. What do you mean? That's good. Because that's what the mind does. The mind is very, we call it tentative. It's flickering. It's always looking for something else, you know. It's always trying to divert the attention of the intelligence. But if you can bring the mind back to where you meant to be, it's good. Keep practicing that. And that will make yourself very strong in comparison to the mind. Yes. Yes, absolutely. If as when you say act as a human, what do you mean by act as a human? What does it mean to you? What else? What is it? What else does it take to be a human? What else? It's good. What you saying is good. What does it take to be a good human being? Yes. Yeah. What else? What does it mean to be good? Anybody? Yes. Behave well. What else? Yes.
To be kind.
To be kind. What else?
Be mature.
Do your chores.
Oh no, be mature.
What?
Mature.
Be mature. Oh, come on. Don't be too mature. Yeah. Help others, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you do all those things, yes, definitely. You continue on your journey. Yes. And then that's the thing about we have this amazing opportunity in the human form to help others, not to be selfish. That's not good. If we are selfless, we become very happy. Because if we always want, right? We always want, what happens? We don't always get. Then we get upset, don't we? But if we have the mood of always giving, people can't stop us from giving. We get very happy. Good. Any questions? How about from this side? Are you guys okay there? Yes.
And where John when yeah that's always
Yes. Speak louder.
I um I my when I bigger than this, I would say, and a little bit further, because I always have the eyes and sometimes that's all which I don't think is
Good. Anything else? Yes.
about how the mind went off. My mind went off like on how if the mind is bigger than this.
Is the Monday bigger than this? Right, actually, you're right. This is quite a small temple. Because in this space, there's a limit how much you can have. But we have a huge garden. So we do have a plan to make it bigger. Maybe in a few years. Yeah.
So he was like doing something nice or something. How would you know what they're going to do next?
How do you know what they're going to do next? If you're doing something nice for others, how would you know what they're going to do next? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
How to predict people, isn't it? It's very hard to predict how somebody will react. But if you're doing good to others out of your own kindness, then it doesn't matter how they do. Because you are being really nice. That's right. I like your gestures. Yes.
Are we going to go to the good?
You've been sitting really well. I have to say, very, very nice. So, how shall we do that? Yes,
Not really well.
okay, that could be a thing to do. Jay, do you think them dancing would work?
The dancing was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you think it would work? It's a lot of them. And they're not little. We had year one the other day. About 60 of them, and we did a dancing, it was really good. What do you think, guys? You fancy doing a dance? Okay, let's do it. So what we do, you have to get your coats. Now, remember, when you go, take your coats with you, okay? But for the time being, when I tell you, you can put the coats on the chairs at the back. Use the white chairs.
Sit down, we will.
Wait, I'll tell you when. And then what we're gonna do. I think probably the girls first, because the girls usually have more common sense. That's what White tells me. She's got more common sense than I. Actually, she's right. Okay, then. I love your gesture. It's just so funny. Good acting. Were you in one of our dramas? Were you in the drama?
We did. Just on the garden school.
Oh, you see it? Hey, next time next year you do one. Maybe.
But mostly it's for watching food. Oh, yeah.
So next year, I think I'll come and do Diwali. I want you to be one of the actors. Hanuman. You know Hanuman, monkey. I think you'd be really good. Okay, so the girls can make a tunnel, right? Two lines facing each other, make a tunnel, and the boys are gonna run through it. And then we swap it around as well. So boys, after you put your jackets there, you can come this side. Okay? So stand up, nicely put your jacket there. Well,
Stop, hands up. Hands on your head,
Wait that side.
hands on your shoulders, hands next to you. Girls that side, boys move that way.
Boys this side, girls, two lines facing each other. Right. In the middle. Yeah, that's it. Come this way. Yeah. If you guys go to that side, go that side. Make a channel. Wow, that's good. Okay.
Can you line up, please?
That's
Line up.
wow. Okay.
And you're in front of building, really loud, down my head.
And we're gonna sing at the same time, okay? Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Krishna Krishna. Krishna, Krishna. One more time. Krishna, Krishna, Okay, now it's the girls. Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, One more time. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. That was brilliant. Did you enjoy it? You're really good, fun-loving children. I like it. I like it. Very good. Very good. Any more questions? Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. You can do that. You can do that. Yes. Sorry? Oh, you have to get the markings. That could be a little challenging. Especially if you don't have permission from your parents. That'd be hard. That'd be hard. Any more questions? Yes. I know a push, but oh, we could do something else. Tell you what we could do. How about we get them out?
Nonsense, you sit down. Sit down.
Okay.
Your mind back, put something back and sit down. I was gonna get into it. Great. Move back. Oh, no, move back.
You can pass them around once we get this. Okay, wow. We have. We will pass them around. So what we can do, it's like a 3 beat, okay? It goes like this. Oh, then there is. 1, 2, 3. So, give something to like, we'll have had a chance. Yeah. Please come. Anybody else?
Somebody has not had
Yeah. Okay. One more time. And who has, don't have a chance. Okay. Now we're doing it differently. We're doing like that, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay. Well, what we could do, that bell, I told you what we could do is make a line and go right, you ring the bell, it just come across here. Like that. And in that way, whoever wanted to pay your respects, you can. So maybe make a line to bring the bell. Oh, yes. We go all next to the back. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I love it. I love it.
That would be big.
I really impressed by you guys.
Oh, and again. Good boy. Good job. Chair, Mindy. That's it. Move back so the people coming around will have a chance to worship as they want to, please.
Well done. Give yourselves a round of applause. So maybe just turn around, facing me. Now we've had lots of schools come here. And this week alone, you are the fourth school. But I have to say, you are my favorite. Please, have no enthusiasm. Really good. Amazing, isn't it? Especially you. Because what you did you rang the bell and you were also paying your respects so nicely. I was so impressed by that. And one of our grand spiritual masters, he used to say the same thing. That I love to go to the church. I love to go to the mosque. I love to go to the temples because I see other people worshiping the same Lord I'm worshiping. Such a nice way. And you've demonstrated that to me today, how you have shown your respect. So well done to all.
Thank you.
Really. Keep it up. Keep it up. Yes. He was more than a monk. Much. Anybody else? Any questions? Yes.
I liked about that that I like how the symbol time how to play it and then the love how to play it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your feedback. Yes.
I like what I like about this place is how it's like organized and how I can see the
Me too. Actually, somebody said to me the other day, I don't like organized religion. I said, come to our temple, we are not organized at all. Thank you for your feedback.
It feels strange not having their shoes on. It kind of makes it feel like home.
Right.
And I said that maybe that's the point.
Right.
Because they pay the same respect here as they would in their own home.
Good. Yes. And I have to congratulate you. There's so knowledgeable already. Yeah, thank you around the clock. Great teacher. You should always respect your teacher and your parents. Very important to always respect your parents.
I think if everybody's ready, we need to think about getting back to 12 weeks now. And we're not going to run our coach right and we can avoid like group nursing down since.
Wow.
I know we're lucky, right?
Yes, oh, that's impressive. We got this route. Shall we give it to you in a bag and then you can give them a coach?
That would be lovely. We'll have it when we get back to school. It's our whole snack today, so that would be nothing late to finish after lunch, won't it? Yeah?
Thank you for coming to me.
Yeah, cool. I think we also need to say thank you. Thank you for having us. All right, I'm going to start calling my group. So can my
So
group
what's your name?
get up,
Logan.
get your coat, get your
You're
bottle.
in your fun next school to me. I'm coming for Holy Assembly.
And come with you. Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.